to Joe Irish Podcast with Sherin Hughes, episode 11. Thanks very much. And who's our guest, Sherin?
The absolute legend of a woman, Miss Kiera Dignam, daughter of national treasure Christy Dignam. Welcome. We're so happy to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Yeah, and you had your daughter with you as
daughter,
well.
yeah.
You're coming in. Our
Brought a
babysitting.
straggler.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. That's
We've just learned about pre-debs. Did you ever hear of pre-debs?
Because I've got a 17-year-old as well.
Oh, right. Oh, it's happening up here as well.
Yeah,
We're struggling together.
It's I don't know.
It's a minefield.
Is it? Yeah, so because I know there's like I've been heard and stuff, and we just before we would delve into heaven, it's like they bought a dress for this amount, but then they want to sell it immediately because they'll never be worn again.
No, and then because like I was on Facebook, and because that's what old people do is go on Facebook, not Instagram or
Right.
TikTok. That's for young people, like me. But when I went on, like I'm searching in the search bar pre-debs to see what people do because I'm like, do you buy balloons? It's not the way to get all these backdrops and you have like a mini wedding and all, but it's not. Luckily enough, that's next year for the actual debs.
Right. So what's today? Oh, today's the pre-debs.
Tonight's the pre-debs, and then next year's the debs.
Nuts.
That's what I'm saying.
I know. I have a little bit of knowledge about it, but not that much. So you're doing this, running around and spending all this money. I'm not saying your daughter. She's over there, beautiful lady, but she deserves every penny to be spent on her.
In fairness, she's very self-sufficient. She's about 19 jobs. I'm not messing.
Well done.
She's
That's amazing.
She's off camera because she's 17.
She is 17.
17 off camera, but fair play to you. Well done.
Well done, Ava.
No, legally she's allowed on camera, but she's 17, so she doesn't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
No, of course. Why would you? When
Yeah.
you're 17, it's too important to be hanging around with.
Watch, I swear in 10
With
years'
elderly
time, you're going to
people.
be like, I want to be on that camera. I want to be on that camera. That's me.
She'll be ringing us next year.
Yeah, next year.
Yeah.
For our debs, she can come
Is
for our
it
debs.
just one last question about pre-debs because I'm mind blown about that. I would have loved that when I was doing my debs. Do you actually wear the gowns and all?
No, you wear like
Right,
short.
you're
They
not.
have to be short. Apparently.
Oh,
So it's like
It's a skimpy debs.
Yeah.
Because the real debs,
it's like a
I don't mean to sound, but the real debs is like
is the
gowns.
Yeah, yeah.
But they want to go and low drop, sorry.
kind of. Jesus.
I just say
look
what
at
the
how
kids
he
do.
just does it.
With no filter, I'm sorry, but the
Neither
kids
do
do.
I, but
I do it. We're on stage.
you can
obviously.
slow drop all you
Boom.
want because you are not my
I
daughter.
know, but I'm just saying, it's not reason for them to go out. I have a teenager
Essentially.
and they wear little or nothing that's shocking.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, wind that window up. I said, no, put clothes on you.
Yeah.
They're giving out to me about the window being down. I'm like, I'm a granddad. I wrap up because I know it's cold out.
Actually
She's
starting
like,
to look like a granddad.
do you want to fall out? Right,
Joe's
thank you.
wind-up
Anyways,
time.
your wind-up time. So, yeah, anyways, pre-debs, great. Enjoy your pre-debs. And then, go on.
Let's go. Yeah, so Kiera, having you here today is amazing. Absolutely honoured to be in your presence. And I know we know each other, you know, so we've done a bit together as well with Sister Sheds. You've done a bit of work for the Sister Sheds with your beautiful voice. And that was actually the Sister Sheds show 2024, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Joe hosted this year's. You were going to do this year's, but you had a wedding.
I had a family wedding, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was a guest / the entertainment.
I seen it, yeah.
there's no
Very
more.
good.
Yeah.
Do you find
at
you
the
get that a
same
lot?
time- yeah, but at the same time, people say that and they're like, oh, it means you can't enjoy your day. If I was sitting there and other people are singing, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I couldn't cope with that.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like,
So
that's shit.
Yeah, that's a thing, like, isn't it? So, because I know, and I'm just saying, like, I'm assuming in most professions, because I know, and this is not going off at the singer, and you're watching someone else doing it, you're going, butchering that bleeding song.
Yeah.
I'd love to be up there. Plus, when you're on stage, when you're used to being on stage, you want to be
You
on
wanna
stage.
be on
I
stage.
said that to you on the way in. I was on the voice message. I literally did a gig, got off the stage, the show was over. And then I jumped back up on the stage because there's no music, and I played my phone and then sang it for everyone. I was and then I went and did a karaoke, but I know exactly what it's like. And my brother-in-law is a chef, and when my sister is making the dinner, he's like, "Get away, you!"
Right.
Yeah. And where she'd see that as like, that's what you do as a job.
Yeah.
Let me
Why
do
would
it.
you want to be doing
Yeah,
it?
and that's what people think the same with me. It's like, well, you're here as a guest.
Yeah, you're
why
like-
would you? Or even a party or anything. It's kind of, it's your night off. And I'm like, no, that's grand, but
Yeah,
I wanna
I'm
sing.
itching.
I'll do it better.
Yeah,
kind
itching
of
to
thing.
get up, yeah.
But
And it's
Brilliant.
loving the job, I suppose,
That's
as well.
it.
Like singing is a great thing to be able to do.
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned earlier about going to college and stuff years ago for singing, because I think
Did you?
maybe a lot of
Well,
people
we're
now,
into that now.
maybe a lot of people now, what was that now?
He said, did you get to college? No, I didn't, because I got pregnant, Joe.
You got pregnant?
I got pregnant.
How dare?
I nothing to do with me. No, so what happened was I left school. I done my junior cert, and then the plan was I went into my man dad when I was 11. I was like, I'm ready to leave school. I want to be a singer.
I want to say something else. Sorry, when you were 11. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus, no. When I was 11, I went into my man dad and I was like, I'm ready to leave school. It's not for me. I want to be a singer. There's no point in me sitting through maths class. I knew that's all I wanted to do.
Wow.
And I was shit at everything else. Yeah. And that's all I wanted to do. So I was like, and I remember saying to my dad, I'm like, you don't understand what it's like. And he's like, because at the time, obviously, you know, when you're disconnected from your parents at that time, you haven't a bleeding clue, but you know everything. So they were like, no, you're going to stay in school. Because I think it was like 11. In 6th class or something. Like, come on now. Yeah. So apart from like, it's illegal. Obviously, they weren't letting me leave school.
I'm not getting arrested, Kiera. You're going to school.
You're going to school. So the plan was you can go to your junior infants, your junior cert. You can stay third year. You can do your junior, and then we can get, because you could be, at the time, you could get into Ballyfermot School of Music at 16.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So that was grand. That was the plan. I said, right, I'll sit through me, like, I'll waste all this time. I'm thinking I could be famous by the time I'm 14 and music are ruining it.
It's like, come on now today.
I'm like, I'm getting old. I'm nearly 12. Do you know what I mean? So that was grand. Stayed in school, done my junior cert, and then I was like, yeah, I'm done. And they were like, are you sure? Would you not stay in school? Then me nanny was like, you could be a doctor. God love the poor woman. Clearly her dementia was starting to kick in already at that stage, because I was never going to be no doctor. But I'd no interest in anything else. And I think my dad was like, he knew by me, he's like, she has a passion for this. My ma, I think, was kind of hoping I'd grow out of it by the time I got my junior cert done, and I'd say, do you know what, I'll actually stay for me leaving. But I was like, no. So that was grand. Enroll, you have to audition. So, because obviously they can't let you in if you're completely
they don't just brutal anyone walking down the street.
And
they are like,
so you have to kind of send your audition tape, and it was a tape at the time as well.
Wow.
Like, so I had a little recorder, like an actual tape. Like, you'll probably have to put
it's the whole record and
just
for anyone under the age of 30, you'll have to probably Google what that even is. But so you send your cassette in, and obviously then, because of my dad, he had gone off and done lectures and stuff in the college at the time, so he was able to just say, like, listen,
your dad done lectures and stuff too.
Like, and they do like songwriter workshops and things like that. So he was able to kind of get the envelope in. But if you're not up to standard, you're not going to get in. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I got my place. That was grand. Supposed to start in the September. Found out I was pregnant. Would have been due in the October. So it was like, that kind of put everything up in the air. And from that stage, like, I was gigging kind of from 12, 13 on stages. Wow. I was doing underage gigs first. Wow. Then I was getting bigger gigs. Like older gigs where I'd be allowed to do the gig, but I wouldn't be allowed near the bar or anything, obviously.
And was that solo? Was that on your own?
I was doing them on my own, and then like I was doing support gigs and things, any opportunity I could get. Same now. If you're like, if you want to bring me into the toilet and let me sing, I'm going to sing. It's just you have to take every opportunity, every chance to sing, and that's what I did. But when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, right, that's it now, the end of my life. Wow. Then it was that was when I first realised, okay, singing is not going to be a job for me. It's a dream, a far-fetched dream.
Right.
So I was like, that's it, done. I have to be a mammy now. And I did. I pulled back on everything. I was, at the time, I was working in my ma's salon washing hairs, just making, because obviously I wasn't making money singing at the time. So I was, Darren, my now husband, we're together since we were like born. So he's like, there's a year between us. So it's nice that we still have that, like, because it was that was another thing. It was like, oh, a teenage pregnancy, obviously they aren't going to stay together. That never works out. We were, well, I don't know about him, but I was lucky enough that worked out for us.
Of course.
And then I had Kane in the October, and I kind of was just, right, I need to learn how to be a mammy, because like I'm an only child. I had like one younger cousin, but like anytime we'd babysit me mad I'd kind of just wheel her up and down. So I didn't know. When they handed me a baby, like I was like, what energy?
So how old were you, Kiera?
I found out I was pregnant 4 days before my 17th birthday.
Right.
So I was 17 having him. I genuinely, like, you know the way some little girls, like, they'd loads of cousins or loads of brothers and sisters, so you kind of just get all like kids on your hip. I was never that, because I was always the youngest cousin, and then my auntie, who I'm very close to, had me my younger cousin. But as I said, like, my ma would do all the kind of, if we were minding her, my ma do all the kind of looking after her. I hadn't a clue what a baby was. Like, I literally hadn't a clue. So I think there was panic stations when I found out I was pregnant, because my ma was like, oh, I'm going to have to leave work, I'm going to have to rear this child. Like, she assumed that this was going to be her baby kind of thing. But there was something in me that I was like, no one's rearing my child.
Gonna be the man.
This is my child, my responsibility, and although I have no clue what I'm doing, I'll have to make it work. And I did. Like he's 22, he's still alive.
He didn't die in the process.
It's just one of them things, isn't it? You just like, it's not
fight or flight, I think.
Isn't it? Some like that, it's just like, as you were saying, they look enough around you, you have other brothers and sisters, a loads of family, isn't it? Like, see, some kids are well used to being around kids.
They're literally reared by the village.
My sister was like, my eldest sister, and she was like that. We're all, but she loves having kids, you know what I mean? She's one of them.
My sister-in-law is like that. Like, I was lucky enough, Darren's the oldest of 5.
Right.
So although I came from no brothers and sisters, I kind of got his brothers and sisters as brothers and sisters, and like his 2 sisters would be like that. It'd be always, I'll take the kids, I'll do this. Brilliant. So they've always been a great help for me, but they would be that I'd be kind of overwhelmed, thinking, oh Jesus Christ, I have to take on other people's kids. Whereas they were it's just in that kids just following them around, like
me, I'd run as well. I would have ran away from a child at 17. I wouldn't have known what to do, even though there's 3 of us. My ma was like, we were babies up until we were in our 30s, 40s. Like my mad still dressed up as Santa. Do you know, in her 30s, you'd be like, ho, ho, ho. Sherin, it's Christmas. I'm like, oh, I'm dying. I was in Joby last night, ma, 10 more minutes. And she'd be like, no. And I'd smell the apple pie. She'd be like, apple pie is on downstairs. And the turkey and all. But she was babied us so much that even at 31, when I had my first child, I honestly didn't know what to do. I actually got the fright of my life. And I was so used to travelling and stuff that it was actually a massive responsibility. Like, I was like, I don't know what to do here. I actually tried to give mine to me ma, but she was like,
I don't want it.
What do you think it'd be? Like, because you look at, I have loads of friends like that didn't have their kids till their 30s. And then I'm looking like
Kiera 17, amazing.
Like, but I'm saying I'm bouncing out to raves now, but my kids are reared.
You're done the same. Like my youngest is 11 now. Do you know what I mean?
My youngest is 17. So it's even less.
Mine
where I have friends.
You're out of the woods.
Well, no, whereas our friends were out in their 20s. And we were like at home being man, being lads. You know what I mean? And then I was like, and now we're just like teenagers with money.
That's it. We're just like me and Kiera.
When I was their age, I hadn't got no much money. You know what I mean? Now I'm earning money, and I was like, no kids to mine. I'm like, yup.
No, this is great. Me and Kiera were just saying that a minute ago, weren't we? That it's now for you that you're trying to travel and do bits, but there's still a restriction on it. It's still only 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, because I need to get back to Jake. Do you know what I mean? Because although he's 11 and the other 2 are great, like Keen is 22, Ava's 17, they're a great help, and then we have obviously family and stuff, but you still feel like I can't completely neglect them. Like you have to still be, you know, you can't take too long away, or last year I was during the summer I was gigging a lot in England, so you'd kind of be working out. Say I do a festival on the Saturday, rather than they'd say, well, we'll fly you in on Thursday, you can settle in and then leave the Sunday, and I'm like, I'll fly in Saturday morning, do it and leg it. Whereas before I'd be like, no, I'll stay around. Now I'm not a big drinker anyway, but I'd sit around if everyone's having a drink, and it's not even a thing where like this big traumatic thing and I don't drink. I'm not. It's not like that. I'm just not into it. I think the only way I can when I think about it, I think because I had Cian so young, and then after I had Ava, I went back gigging kind of full on. It just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the hangover. I can't drink when I'm on stage because like 2 drinks, because I don't drink. When I do drink, 2 drinks and that's it.
Gone.
And I don't want to make the mistake on stage. Like, oh my God, I'm a pussycat doll. Do you know what I mean? You have to be very, very careful. So it's like, it's just not worth it.
I think, do you know, in this day, I don't know if it's the era that we're in now. Is that what you call it? Era?
That's what it's called.
Probably.
When we're in this era now, I think lots of us are just like, well, you're not, but we
Don't put me in this bleeding category on about we're not.
I was saying you're a session mom.
That's exactly what I am.
Do you know, up until a couple of months ago, like I did enjoy a drink, do you know, like, and I don't know if it's because you're in a stage of your life where you're just like, well, I just have a drink. But then when you start doing stuff like adventures and just doing loads of stuff, you're like, I have more to do. I can't actually have a hangover in the morning.
We did that last weekend at that when I was down on a gig in Cork, and then I was in Tipperary, Cork Friday, Saturday, Tipperary then, and then straight home, and then I was up the next morning going out to the rise above it on the beach at 7 o'clock, and I'm getting up in the morning to go.
What am I doing out here?
Look at this on a Sunday, bouncing out to swim.
And it feels good,
of course it
doesn't
does.
it?
Of course
it feels good.
You're getting stuff done. You can't just live in it.
And what did you do Sunday night?
We went straight to the Joe's down to the
So
karaoke.
she's had to catch you being a hypocrite.
Yeah, no, but I did afterwards.
I'm joking,
But I did me walk and I did me.
Yeah, you're allowed to enjoy
I
yourself.
did me taking part
As
of
you said,
society.
you're a granddad
Yeah, I
now,
was
you know.
part of society
That's
for a
twice you've said that.
weekend. Yeah.
Twice.
Oh yeah, but I'm only one granddad.
Granddad.
I'm only one granddad.
A granddad
Well,
nonetheless.
we could all be grandparents here, like, you know what I mean?
no.
I'm just saying.
No, stop
What's your
playing
son's
well.
name?
Talk about that.
Well, just,
I'm
sorry.
I'm not
What's
entertaining this.
Kane's name? What's his name? What age is
I'm not
Kane?
entertaining this. I'm not
just
entertaining
saying.
this. I see where you're going. No.
For all you know.
No.
And
Have
then
you ever had anyone walk out?
and then you'll be talking about going
Stop
over
looking
to
at her.
London. Sorry.
No.
I'm looking at the daughter. I'm pointing over because saying Ava could mind the grandchild.
Oh, right. I
If
thought you were going to say
Kane
could have a one.
No.
No, but Kane's not having one either.
She just doesn't want to be a nanny.
Is Kane a girlfriend?
No.
He's not now. Okay, or a
He's
boyfriend.
No, neither. No, he's neither.
Well, listen,
Come here. At least if he had a boyfriend, I wouldn't be stressing about being a nanny.
Yeah.
No, he's neither. He's
grandkids are brilliant, by the way.
That's fair enough. I would like to find that out when I'm 64. No,
She said she actually wants to
Do you hear that, Ken?
She wants to actually live till she's 106. So
Right.
I mean that needs to.
Yeah, so I can
expand,
prolong
yeah.
that. Yeah. No, Kane is he was 22 yesterday. He's
Happy birthday, Ken.
Happy
Happy birthday, Ken.
He's in college and he's working.
Oh, well done.
So
Good for him.
he's
What's he doing?
English and history teaching.
Lovely. Oh,
Wow,
So
lovely.
yeah, and because he was always saying he wanted to do that,
Yeah.
and he kept talking himself out of it. So we went and done biomedicine, qualified in that. So he'd kind of be like a lab technician, but hated it.
Okay.
So went back and eventually done what he wanted to do.
Finglas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The posh part.
Okay, yeah, good.
There's no posh part.
I guess last week was like a lab technician, wasn't he? He was saying.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a different thing. Sorry, I got back to.
Yeah, no, not that kind of lab technician.
And the Kane's out, and and then your youngest daughter is working. So, want to get into the what was it like growing up in Finglas with your father being such a in the limelight, you know what I mean, and such a powerhouse,
Being the national treasure of Ireland, yeah.
I never really, people ask, and they used to ask me, like in secondary schools, in primary school, I don't think anybody really realised who, because they weren't old enough to kind of understand who he was, and neither did I. So it was kind of like secondary school, it was like what's your dad like being Christy? What's it like having your dad Christy Dignam? I'm like, what's it like your dad being a plumber? I don't know. Like it was never.
You didn't know any different.
It was never a thing. It was. I assumed everyone's dad went out at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night gigging and came back and then slept through the day because he's after being gigging last night, and then and I assumed that when you're walking down the road, everybody's dad gets pulled and like, hey, can I get a picture?
That's
like I genuinely. It was only when I became a little bit older I realised, oh, that's not.
Right,
that's not what happens. Everyone,
not normal life for everyone.
Yeah, like it really didn't occur to me. I just that was just my normal. Like
as a child, just speaking this, it's not even something I thought of, but I'm just thinking of now as we're talking. Do you ever remember any big? Like I remember seeing, Crazy World. Were they in America or something? Or am I doing that wrong?
They said the first album they were in America.
Yeah. Was there any moments where your dad came in say, and your mom's like, I can't believe this? Like, can you remember anything real? Thanks, Joe. Yeah, like there was always kind of some big achievement, like Christy, I can't believe it.
That must have been all the time now.
Yeah,
surely
it was kind of.
There's always next level.
Like
with you, you're getting something and you feel that.
Yeah.
So you're sharing that with Darren.
Yeah.
As well. So your dad had been doing that with
me, man, and that's the thing. Like they were together since they were like 14.
Really.
So she was there through everything. Do you know what I mean? Like she worked so that he didn't have to. He left his full time job, like pensionable job, because she was like, right, if you want to make this work. He worked. He had he had about 15 jobs, but the job that he had that he ended up leaving, he was with Telecom Éireann. Then he was doing Windows, but he had pensions in these jobs. Right. So Telecom Éireann was like, actually, we must look into that because he should have got a pension when he died.
Catherine,
there's a few quid somewhere for him. My inheritance. We'll have to look into that. When I watch back on this, I'll remember to follow up on that. But yeah, he worked for there, and my ma eventually it became a thing where he was like, I want to really make this work. So we left, and my ma kind of held the fort. She was after opening a salon of hairdressers, and she's he said, I'll give it a year, because they had gone to Australia before I was born.
Your mum and dad.
Yeah, because my aunties lives over there. So they went over to visit them and they loved it, and that was it, they were going to live there. Came home, they went for a month, and they said, my dad, look, give it a year. If Aslan doesn't work out, we're going to Australia.
Did you like, did your dad set the band up, or was the band set up together? Your dad's obviously a fantastic singer, and a songwriter.
Yeah, so he had a couple. He had Electron and Mila 18 first. So he went to Joe Joel was kind of just playing as well, and he was in school with him, and he kind of went to him and was like, "Do you want to be in a band?" And then they kind of went and picked the other members, and then there was some members were in, some members left, and then eventually it became what it was. So that's kind of, he said, give it a year, we'll try and make that work, and then if it doesn't, we're going to Australia. And they brought out Feel No Shame, which I was the little boy on the cover.
Oh really?
Yeah, not a blade of hair. I was 18 months. So as you say, like, was there ever any kind of big thing like? That happened before I was able to acknowledge success. So I was kind of a toddler at that stage. So I'd always known him to be in a successful band. I never really knew anything different. You know what I mean? So my man never got to Australia. I could have had a koala bear as a pet. Never had any of that.
Right now, we wouldn't be
here. I am slumming it in Dublin. But
are you slumming it though, Kiera? How is things in your career, in your music career? Where's that going?
It's hard. Any musician will tell, like, see, when like there is a saying like, I'm a struggling musician, and it's true. Am I allowed to say fuck?
Yeah.
All right. It's fucking true. Fuck. Yeah. It's fucking true. No,
Leave
it is.
Out.
It's hard.
Leave all them fucks
out. Yeah. So basically, when I eventually went back gigging, I'm going somewhere with this. I'm not ignoring that question.
Right? I want to hear.
When I went back gigging after I had Ava, we went into like, I mean, kips, like really like places that you'd be kind of walking in going, oh, Jesus Christ. But it was it was an apprenticeship essentially. Do you know what I mean? Trying to learn my craft, trying to learn what songs do I like singing, what songs am I good at singing, and eventually building up to kind of bigger places. Then we put a band around us. So Darren's in the band with me, he plays guitar. So it's always been the two of us gigging. So every band I've been in, he's kind of always been here. So we did really well, and I was kind of like, I want to be able to bring out my own stuff, because you're kind of credible when you have your own music, and that because my dad always had his own music. I was like, I don't want to be a tribute singer for the rest of me. Like,
Chris's story.
Which is still though good earners for a lot of people.
Absolutely. That's the thing I fell into.
Some of them can, like, but you go to some of that, you can't even get tickets to the bootleg Beatles.
That's
There's
it.
a song out already, like, boom, what are they? Do you know the tributes? So
absolutely, but that's the problem, because that's what I fell into. Right. I wanted to be pursuing my own music. I wanted that credibility. I wanted to be kind of out there in my own right. But I wasn't really proving myself, because I'm singing Whitney Houston songs. And grand, if you can do that and it can sound good and people like it, whatever. Well, those are my songs that I love to sing. It's Whitney Houston and Beyonce, kind of big ballads. They're the songs I love to sing. But that's grand. But then I was kind of getting gigs in pubs, and then I do weddings. So I do ceremonies and funerals and churches. So you'd get, like, I was really doing really well. I was out kind of 4 or 5 nights a week, 2 or 3 days a week with the funerals and weddings, churches and things like that. And COVID hit, and things had been going really, really well. I had 285 weddings cancelled.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it was, I remember looking, up until then, I never struggled with my mental health. Never had issues with that. And I'm looking at my diary, and cancelled, rescheduled, cancelled. And it was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And I'm starting to work out all the money that I'm losing, because that's my only job. This is how I'm literally feeding my kids. It was terrifying. But I mean, there was people dying. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, first world problems. Who am I to moan about losing a few quid? Everybody was losing money. Do you know what I mean? But that's when I realised, I was like, shit, like, this is heavy. And then it was kind of, we went into lockdown for 2 weeks. And then it turned out to be like 9 years or something. Do you know what I mean? So eventually, anyway, I was like, you know what, I'm not going back into gigs. This is an opportunity giving me the time to get my album recorded. Because I never had the time before, because I was so busy, which was brilliant. But it was essentially not what I wanted to be doing. So I eventually got me album recorded, but because of restrictions on travel and everything else, most of it was done kind of FaceTime with the producer, and then I was when I was allowed out on me kind of 5k, I'd go to the studio, record, wash my hands and go home, kind of thing. So anyway, got the album done. I was like, right, I'll get that ready for release. And then agents started getting back on when things were opening up again. Like, is there any chance, like, would you do this gig? And I was like, do you know what, maybe if I go in and do these pub gigs just to kind of get the money back up, and then I'll kind of get the album done in a month.
Right.
And everything kept getting pushed out because we got as busy again. All the weddings that were cancelled were starting to reschedule.
It's like catch-22.
Exactly. Because again, I'm so grateful for all the bookings I'd ever got, because that's what kept it kept the wheels of motion. Like, that was my money, that was my income. But at the same time, it meant that I wasn't doing essentially what I wanted to be doing, was getting my own music out there. So it was hard. It was kind of, as you say, it was exactly that. It was a catch-22. But I got really busy again, and then I kind of got stuck in a rut where I was like, how am I going to do this? Because you have to, like, one thing you don't unless you're in it, you don't consider, if someone's coming to see me and they're local on a Saturday night, why the fuck are they going to pay to buy a ticket to see me doing my own music on a Sunday? So it's a hard one, and how do I turn down all these agents and these weddings when I'm like, that's money? Because when you start off with your own music, generally you're either not getting paid, or you're not getting paid well, because you're doing support. Like with comedy, you're going in with, like, when you're starting off, you get somebody with a big name and you say, can I get up before you? It's support slots. Same with music, it's the same concept. So it was kind of, what do I do? And it was, Darren was kind of the same, where although he was in the band with me, he also always had a real job. So he kind of he could kind of keep us going to allow for me to do my recordings and get all, because you have to remember these like, I'm paying for all of this.
Of course,
because unless somebody swoops in out of the blue and says, I'm going to give you a record deal, a record company will come in and pay for your album to be recorded. We paid ourselves, like that was their life savings.
Is it big money? Is it big?
It's stupid money. Yeah.
That's what you're always thinking about doing stand-up comedy, and it's like, if you're in a band, obviously there's a group, you stick out a little network of support, but you just have to pay for the instruments and studio time. I just rock up
and storing
and get free drink.
But that's the thing, you don't
get paid.
With musicians, I feel it for musicians, because I know it's just, although we're all in the entertainment business end of it, it's a lot more goes into the musicians. I feel
like, sometimes people say to me,
comedians don't slag me off for what I'm saying this, but I feel like musicians do have a lot more.
No, I've had people come to me and say, like, is there any chance you can come? Like, I just want you to sing for an hour. And I'm like, that's fine, but that hour means that I have a 6-piece band. I have to bring 5 other members, all their instruments, a PA. It's not just an hour of my life, it's 4 hours of my life, because I have to get there, set up, do the gig, strip down and get home. Like, it's so there is a lot more to it than you realise. Like, I don't just appear and then suddenly everything just like a hologram, everything falls into place. So and this is my job, you know. But
you need to be professional about it all.
Absolutely,
so it's not going, we'll just do little mix sort of
throw something together. And Darren is anal about sound, so we always had to have the best of the best. PA has to have the best of the best sound, which is brilliant.
Absolutely.
It did stand to us because we were so busy, and I think that was part of the reason we were so busy. But you do need to have, like, it's attention to detail makes such a difference. And with me, I'm just like, I'll just go on and sing. I'm kind of, all of that's taken care of.
Well, the lads all do their own job. Everyone has
exactly.
Did your dad start like that, Kiera? Would he have ever said, I done the gigs first and then it became the career?
He never done covers.
He never done covers, did he?
He sometimes, like, because he loved Bowie and things like that, so we'd incorporate some of them into gigs sometimes, but he was always an original.
It's just
it was always original music. So that was the thing that I was like, every time I would book a gig or I'm doing a gig, I'm like, that's getting further and further away from me, and I was panicking. So eventually my dad was sick after COVID. I said, I got stuck into that. I ended up, the album was still sitting in my inbox type of thing. So we went, and my dad was in hospital, and things were kind of starting to get worse health-wise for him. And they called us into the hospital, and they basically said, listen, in the October of 2022, they were like, we're going to send him home in palliative care.
Right.
So you're like, shit, because obviously that's not a good thing. So I went into him, and because he didn't want anything, diagnosis, timing, any of that. He's like, I don't want to know. Don't tell me. He'd literally be like, can you do that outside? He didn't want that. He didn't want to know any of that, which is fine. I suppose unless you're in that situation, you don't know how you might feel or how you might want to deal with that. But his thing was, ignorance is bliss, which is grand.
Absolutely.
So we had to obviously say to him, you're coming home palliative care, because otherwise, if we say nothing and then a palliative care nurse comes in,
it's going to kick off.
So I had said to him, like, palliative care, I was like, listen, palliative care is not, which it's not end of life. Like, it doesn't mean you're going to be dead in a week. It can be 2 years. Now, with the doctor, it wasn't going to be 2 years, and we knew it wasn't going to be 2 years, but he had been so sick for so long. When he came home into palliative care, I was saying to him, it's not, you know, we don't know how long this might be, and you have to try and be positive even when you're not, even when you know it's bullshit, like. So we brought him home, and every time before this, like he was given 2 days to live, and he lasted 10 and a half years. Do you know what I mean?
So he was given 2 days to live
in 2013. Right. That's when he was diagnosed. So I was getting married.
What was the diagnosis?
He had multiple myeloma, which is a blood cancer. Wow. And then they brought him in. He took a turn and ended up in hospital again, and they discovered that he had a secondary cancer, which was amyloidosis. That was because you can live with multiple myeloma. Right. You can live with both, but amyloidosis, there's very little known about it. Right. And it's extremely rare, but they're both blood cancers. Right. And there's like cousins.
It's all over then, isn't it?
Basically, if you have a brain tumour, say, right, obviously that's not a good thing, but they can go in and they can either remove or blast it, or say do radium or what it laser, things like that. With a blood cancer, it's down everywhere.
Yeah, you can't.
It was in his bone marrow and his blood. It's horrific. So it kind of meant like he was fighting two cancers. The amyloidosis was essentially the one that caused the most problems for him, because amyloidosis is a protein. So the only way in layman's terms I can understand it, so I can explain it, is it's like a polyfiller. So it kind of shoots, this protein is like a polyfiller. So it'll shoot this protein around your body, certain organs. So for him, it started off with his heart. Yeah. So this polyfiller builds around his heart and then hardens. So his heart can't beat to its full capacity, because this wall of polyfiller is around him.
You never know anything like that, do you? Like,
no, and that's, I think sometimes it's important to speak about that sometimes, because when it's a cancer that's very little known about, it's important because sometimes people might have the same symptoms and think it's something else, because it took a while. The only reason they found out with my dad was he was in the hospital, he had taken a turn, he had a bit of a seizure, and ended up in Blanchetown Hospital. And it just so happened the consultant came in and said, I have students on rounds, is there any chance they can come in and we can talk? And he's like, yeah, no problem. One of the students said, there's a few things with his sickness that, have you looked at amyloidosis? And even the consultant was like, what is that? Didn't know anything about it. It was just a student happened to be looking at it, obviously, studying it in college, and it turned out that's what it was. So they tested him for it, and that's what it was. So that student essentially saved his life or prolonged his life, because then they were able to say, right, this is the treatment we can give. So fast forward 10 years, we brought him home into palliative care. I had a gig in the February, just a pub gig, and in the January we went out public and said, we're going to have to tell people, because...
How did that feel, Kiera? What was that? Like,
it was horrible.
One for the family, one for you, is just because I know losing my mother, what it's like, but it was quick. I didn't know she was gone. Christy being a national treasure to the country, adored him. We still do. We love him. Of course, 100%. And then as his daughter and wife having to come out and say, this is it. Like,
it's shit. It's shit, because although... my dad's always, as I said, my whole life he's been in the public eye, and then me, I've been in the public eye because of him, and then because of the career I've chosen. You kind of can't, you can't complain about being in the public eye, because at the same time, these are the people I'm relying on to keep me going. Do you know? So you have to be grateful for that. But when it comes to situations like that, it's rough, because you can't have privacy. No. And the reason we decided to, not even that we decided, the decision had to be made whether we wanted it or not, because there was a 40th anniversary, kind of the band's anniversary. They were doing the big gig, and that had to be cancelled because he was in hospital. I remember that. And then it was rescheduled for the following March.
So they rescheduled. So was it known that he was going to maybe be okay then? It
was assumed he might be okay, because he always was. Yeah. Do you know when you're told?
He'd always, bang,
and did you know at the time he won't be okay?
When it was rescheduled, we didn't.
You didn't,
because he was still in hospital.
Yeah.
So say that was rescheduled in the September to the March, and then we were told he was going to be in palliative care, so we were like, so we let the other members know that this was the case, and the gig was still kind of happening essentially, and then we were like, we realised, because we were in this bubble of like, what the fuck is going on, and trying to deal with more important things, and then we realised the gig was still. I actually got a message Christmas Day. I make the dinner in my ma's Christmas Day. And somebody sent me a message. I don't even know who it was. It was just somebody on Facebook going, oh my God, I'm so excited. Just got these 2 tickets to see our dad in March as a present. And I was like, oh.
So you didn't know that it was
going
going ahead?
I don't want to sound, I don't want to come across like I'm totally naive.
No, just it is what
obviously
it is.
I knew the gig was happening, but it didn't even dawn on me that the gig, the gig needs to be cancelled.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, people are buying tickets, and then people were flying from England and paying for flights, and I was like, shit.
And then you're being told, can't wait to see your dad. And so it is like we're going to see Christy. I know it's Aslan, but
well, the gig,
Christy,
yeah. And then I was like, bollocks, like this gig's gonna have to be cancelled. So we went and we were. I won't get into the logistics of it, but basically we were like, this gig needs to be cancelled. It was like, oh, wait and see, and we were like. He's in palliative care. So we're being practical and realistic, and I don't know whether people thought we were being dramatic, but we were like, things are not good. And we were the only ones in the house. Like, people weren't coming visiting him, people didn't see him. So we're like, trust me on this.
He's not
good.
Great.
He's not great. And he wasn't getting better. So eventually we talked to me dad, and I was like, when I said to him about that, he was like, oh fucking hell, like he felt bad thinking, jeez, people are going to, what if people lose money? Now with Ticketmaster, you get your money back and all that grand. But there was people paying for flights to come to Dublin, things like that, whatever. So eventually anyway, we were like, we're going to have to
pulling it.
Let people know. Because then people were like, jeez, Christy was in hospital last year. Like, what's the story? I actually remember getting a message. I swear to God, it was probably the first feeling similar to when he died. You know, when you get a punch in the mouth and then you get a punch in the stomach at the same time. Somebody sent me a message because we were so quiet because we were just dealing with this at home privately. Now I'm in a random, I don't like know, you know, this person followed me on I have a music page, you know, for my business kind of thing. And somebody sent me a message saying, hey, Kiera, I just want to know, did your dad pass away? Because everything's being very quiet. I understand if he did, but I think you should let people know because we all love him and we have a right to know.
That's weird. What's a weird, isn't it? Did your dad pass away?
Did your dad pass away?
My God.
Know. Yeah, we have a right to know.
Because you're the priority right now, not me dad.
Now at this stage he wasn't. And we hadn't said he was in palliative care at this stage, but because we'd been so quiet and people knew he was in hospital because the gig had been cancelled and everything. So I'm like,
wondering, well, wasn't it a weird text to send?
Of course. So that's a trigger,
like, you know. How was everything?
Yeah, I was like, who the fuck does that?
Yeah, no, not many. Not many people are weird.
I just found it very. I tried to look at it in a way of this person is concerned and is probably a fan. It's obviously a fan.
But there's a major sense of entitlement there, you know. Yes. And I think coming from a daughter. Even though it is a priority to at some stage say, listen, this is where we're at, because he is such a national,
of course you have to let people know, of course,
but your main focus is your mother and you and your dad. At that point you're just focusing, and I think every minute of the day is just consumed with that love and just wanting to be there in the moment. And I think sometimes when you say it, it's more real as well. It's a bit difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. So I get this message and I was like, I was fucking floored, like I really was. So there was little things like this happening, a few things like that kind of happening, not as kind of as blatant as that. But I was like, we're going to have to let people know what's going on. So we spoke with somebody who deals with public speaking, and we were like, we need advice on this. Like, we've no fucking idea what we're doing. Essentially, because we want to do it in the right way, you know, in a respectful way. Let people know. And then just kind of be like, please give us privacy.
And did your dad know you were doing that, Kiera?
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that without. I wouldn't have done that without speaking to him. Like so I had to sit down and say to him, listen, which was hard because at the end of the day, it's very easy to look at it as a business thing, right? But what people don't realise or what you might not see is I had to sit down. I, as a daughter, had to sit down with my dad. It's irrelevant who he is or what he does for a living. I had to sit down and go, listen, I need to let people know that you're going to die soon.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's big. It's really
heavy,
big.
But I had to do that. So I did. And we got the wording done and everything else, and we put it out. We had to put it out to press and let people know. So then it was like, we said, like, can we please have privacy? And when you ask for privacy, the very, very last thing in the world you get is privacy. Which again, I understand, because at the same time, the reason he was who he was because these people have supported him through the years.
Is more, I'm not saying more than with you, and obviously that's like, but there still is, the whole country was sad. Do you know what I mean?
And I totally
like
get
it's
that.
everyone's
I
sense,
totally
like,
get
oh
that.
my God.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
like? And there's not
Yeah,
one of us that
it's
didn't like
flabbergasting,
Aslan, yeah, down. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Everyone has memories of
Yeah.
the songs and where
Yeah.
they were at times. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So
but
we had to,
obviously
I was
there
trying
a
to
certain
keep,
time.
You
yeah.
are trying
Then
to
you
keep
have
the
to-
public and
Course.
yourself
Yeah.
That's heavy.
protected,
Yeah.
trying to let everyone in while physically
extent.
inside
Yeah.
the heart is in fucking
Yeah,
pain.
and you're
you
fucking
know?
terrified because I don't know
Terrified.
what I'm dealing
Life
with.
is-
Like we
yeah.
didn't know what we were dealing with. We didn't know what we were facing. So that was the January.
So, do you mind me, so what age? Because was
He was 62.
Was it? That's
Young.
so young.
Same around my dad was
horrible,
around
isn't it?
62,
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Too young. And then it's too young for me, Matt, to be left on her own. Do you know what I mean?
It's horrible.
But that was the January, and then my little cousin died very suddenly. He was 27 in February.
Jesus.
So I happened to have a gig that night, the night of his funeral, but I was singing at his funeral. So I had said I was going to obviously cancel it, and my auntie's like, no, keep the gig, do the gig, you know, whatever. So I was like, right, okay. So I sang at the funeral that day, and then I was saying, look, if you all want to come to the gig, and at least we can all be together. Now it turns out they were all in bits and didn't. But I'm on the stage, so 3 weeks previous to this, we had made this announcement. My dad was too sick to even come to the gig. We had to leave him with a carer in the house. It was horrible because he was very, very close to this cousin, and he was named Christopher. He was Christopher Dignam as well, you know. But I'm doing the gig anyway. That's grand, and you always get someone, will you sing Crazy World? And for years I wouldn't do it, and then I was like, you know what? Why the fuck not? So anyway, I done it that night, and everybody in the place started chanting Christy over and over and over again, and it was total. I don't want to make it out like I took it in the wrong way. It was meant in a totally, we're here to support you, we're here to support your dad. Everything, they knew what we had been going through, and they meant it in a lovely way, but I felt it shit on the stage, I'm standing there going, be professional. I'm looking at Darren and he's like, don't fucking do it. And I couldn't. I physically couldn't. I'm not a crier, but I just couldn't hold my shit together. I turn around and I'm looking at my drummer and I'm trying to hold my shit together. My bass player's sobbing. My drummer's looking like couldn't even look at me because he was getting upset because they're feeling it for me, like. And I'm looking at Darren like, and Darren's like, he's like, we're gonna pull the gig, and I was like, no, let me compose myself. I'll be okay. So I turns back around and I was like, thank you all so much. I just need a minute. So I took a little break, went back, done the gig.
Powerful.
I don't know how, but I did.
Well done. Yeah.
So that was grand. So when we're done, there's like a queue of people kind of, people come up asking for photographs or wanting to talk, and because of everything, they wanted it, obviously. So I spoke to 1 or 2 people, and there's a girl that came, had come, she was from Finglas, and she just came up and just bear hugged me. And because she knew and again, I'm not a hugger either, but she knew I needed it. It was a real mammy thing, do you know what I mean? So Darren's like, you go out to the van, me and the lads will get all the equipment out. So I was like, grand. So I'm sitting in the van, like, traumatised. And Darren sat in the van, he's like, we're done. So what do you mean we're done? He's like, that's it. He said, the gigs are done. He says, we need to go, we'll look after your dad, we'll reassess this, we're done. And we had murder. Because I was like, no, I'll be grand. And I wouldn't be grand.
I know, you're in denial.
He
of
knew.
course.
Sometimes you need somebody else to make that decision for you.
When you're in cut like that, like we've all lost parents here, like you know what I mean, and like, but there is, isn't it? It's a moment where you're just trying to go through a process. It's like, oh no, it's only when someone else grabs a hose and going, you know what? It's all right to be not all right, and let's do this.
And you know what I think another big thing is, like, not that my mum was anywhere near Christy's stature in Ireland, but she did have a big...
That was well known.
She was. And again, it's irrelevant about that. She was your man.
No, what I'm saying is, as a daughter of that person, when that does happen, I think for me, not that I was like, I think there's some kind of thing that you have with them that's saying to people, she's gone, is nearly like you feel like you're losing all of that. That ocean of people that adore her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a fear.
Absolutely.
It's not that they'd be at my door every day around, but it was known she was loved so much and she helped so many, like your dad, that you get this fear of, I can't tell people she's gone because they're not going to be there now. The whole Dimpna thing is gone, do you know? And I do know that your mum and your dad and my mum were really good friends. And I think your dad, I'm thinking about when you were saying he was sick, Kiera, and people like, is he going, I'll be grand, we'll do this. Because I remember even when it was my mum's funeral, I was like, I need Christy Dignam to come and sing at the funeral. And Rachel was like, she can't ask Christy Dignam. I was like, no, I'm going to ring Catherine. I'm actually going to ring Catherine. No, Christy's singing at my ma's funeral. Because you know when it's your ma.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my ma's funeral was like a fucking wedding.
It literally was a wedding.
It literally was a wedding.
Yeah.
We had like pictures the size of that wall of her. We had big love lights, big signs everywhere. Like, it was ridiculous, but amazing.
Yeah.
We had a screen of her, but I'll never forget. I think it was a night or two before the funeral. I was sitting there drinking a bottle of Baileys because I couldn't handle it. I was gone. I was like, Catherine, will you ask him? And I did. Part of me was like, do you know what? Chris is not just going to rock up and do a funeral. She just said to me, he's going to do it. Like, he thought a lot of your mum, like, he's going to do it.
Him and Darren went to
Just
the
like that. Just like that.
Amazing.
And Kiera's husband.
No way.
And do you know, I'll never
so
forget
nice.
him coming in because it was a funeral. He was unwell at the time.
Yeah.
I remember he was really unwell,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe he's actually
That's
come
amazing. Fair
to
play,
do
yeah.
that. And he came in, and I remember your mum saying to me, Sherin, he's not great now. So I remember it was my mum's funeral, and at the same time, everyone wanted to be near Christy, and I'm like, get back!
Kevin Costner.
Get back.
Yeah.
But and he did. He called me up. He said, "Do you want to say a few words?" And oh my God, it took me aback, right? But it was, even though it was my mum's funeral, I was on the floor. I was on deck. Like, I couldn't even breathe when your dad was there. But it was like a fucking concert. Everyone was like,
That's amazing.
like, it was amazing.
That's a great memory to
Celebration.
have of
Yeah.
It was
celebration.
celebration,
like,
and
of
I
course it
swear
is.
to God, Kiera, to this day, I remember him going out saying, I've never done a funeral before. Like, I've never done this is the first for this kind of thing. Now, maybe with his family and stuff, but to just be rang and say, I don't know, like, but that's what he said. But
No, he didn't. If somebody had ring and asked about a funeral,
he was like, I'm not doing a fucking funeral.
no, he just wouldn't. He didn't do funerals. But now, very rare occasions, if it was sometimes somebody ring and it was a child, or, you know, little things like that. But very, very rare.
So I, from me to you and to your mother, Catherine, I will never, ever, ever forget him doing that for us. I will never. But it's so funny because then I was talking to my makeup artist last night, and she was telling me about Christy and some amazing stuff that he's done for so many people. You know, like just not so much, like a charity even, like your dad didn't, and they didn't charge us, like they just came to do it. Yeah. But he was such a beautiful soul of a man, like he's such, and you're every bargain because you came and then done our charity for us as well. Like, you know, you're an amazing family.
It's all
well
about giving
That's
back,
it. You have to.
isn't it?
You have
Giving
to
it
support
back.
each
Yeah,
other. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And like that, you were starting out at the time as a very small organisation doing something for the right reasons, and you have to be able to.
Yeah, and you're so beautiful that I was like, you know, Christy is such a national treasure. I was like, can we put my mum's picture as well? And she's like, yeah. Sherin, Christy was your mum's friend. Like, they had their own thing, like, connection going on. She's good friends with your mum as well. Like, and then I remember just seeing her and him on the screen. The both of them passed away.
Yeah, we had them at the end of the gig. So I closed the gig, brought everybody
Oh,
out.
Joe, you
and
should
then to
have
have the
seen
two
it.
of
This is
them
what your
at
the
the
first
Sister
show.
Shed show. Yeah, it was
Oh,
lovely.
Joe, you should have seen it. The audience
This
erupted.
must have been
didn't
on
they?
sobbing, yes.
I couldn't even
Would have
cope.
been.
It was
See,
my
I didn't look.
birthday.
If I don't look,
Yeah.
I'm very good at that. Switch off. If I don't see it, it's not happening.
Yeah.
But looking back on pictures, it looked amazing.
It was my
Brilliant.
It was so
birthday.
important to have her there. Like, she's the reason you started all of that.
Oh, absolutely. She's behind that.
It was
yeah.
a no-brainer. When you said, is there any chance we could put up a picture? Like, it was no-brainer. Of course, you'd have
But
to.
you know, some people would be like, well, it's me dad, like, you know. But no, it was so lovely and an honour to be. So I wanted to publicly say, Christy Dignam is a legend, and so is his daughter. So thanks so much.
Well, his daughter's working on it. Not yet.
No, you're doing great. So tell me about your new album.
So,
Sorry, did I jump in on Christy?
No.
I jumped in on the story.
Fine, you know.
no, I
us
think
about
that was
that.
nearly,
What
he
we
was
do with
he
the
was kind of
sugar
nearly
base
dead
is
by
nice.
then anyway. So
No,
we were coming to the end of that story. But the reason basically I stopped gigging. Darren was like, no more gigging. So that kind of allowed me to be there with me man and dad in the house, because we didn't have, we'd one carer that would come in and help, but we didn't have an army of people that were helping us. He didn't want that. And neither did we, to be honest. So it was just kind of myself, Darren, my man, the kids, essentially. And then the carer that would come in, like, to help us medically. So I was able to be there for that. So it was good that I was able to pull back on gigs for that reason. But it also meant that I could kind of start saying, you know, I'm going to start getting the album sorted, because my dad's going nowhere. Because that was again the February. He didn't die till the June. So by like March, April, I was like, he might be okay. So I started saying, you know what, I'm not gigging, I'm going to bring this album out. The album was due to be released on the 10th of June. And he started getting really sick the week before, and I was like, I'm going to put this off. And he died the 13th. So I ended up saying I'll put it off for a few weeks, but then obviously then it was just put on the back burner altogether. Because I started realising he's not actually okay, and I thought he was okay. So when he passed away in June, I was like, obviously, I don't know. It was kind of there was a lot of photographs, like press wise. That's the only reason I know what kind of happened at that time, because
you were I
don't know. Oblivious. The only time I remember him dying is like at 2 a.m. when I wake up and I'm like, do you know what I mean? When you kind of, it comes back to you and you remember that moment.
You wake up crying.
Yeah.
You wake up with tears streaming
and
down
I don't,
your face.
like, I haven't really spoken about that time with obviously with Darren, because he was there. Myself, Darren and the kids were there. But Jake wasn't, the older. We gave them the option if they wanted to be there. Because he was very, very close to them. So I didn't want to take that away from them, but at the same time, I didn't want to be like, this can be traumatic, and I didn't want to put that on them. But
when someone's passing away, it's a thought of your last sight of what they look like.
Will that be it?
Not even the moment that you want to be there, no, but just, I do always have him when my dad was just an image of, because he was such a great man, he always great, looked great, you know what I mean? But that horrible, you always have that in your head, isn't it? And it's such a sad, sometimes you want to protect the kids from that vision that you want them to remember.
That was my automatic thought.
I wasn't like seeing my grandparents when they were dying. They was like, no, stay away.
Yeah, it's
then
not
you remember
for
it
kids
different.
kind of thing.
So I can understand.
So with them, I didn't want to be like, you need to be here for this, but at the same time I didn't want to be like, you're not allowed to be here for this, and then them hate me forever for it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it was hard and it was traumatic, but I think having spoken to them afterwards, they're like, yeah, it was, but I'm glad I was there.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Carl, you can edit. I'm just saying this for now, that if this does get edited, that we can edit it, right? So anything that's said now, you can edit. I'm just going to ask you, after that, I know that you've come under a lot of backlash. We can think.
No, we're good.
You come under a lot of backlash, and I remember me and you talking, and I was like, without going into the full thing, I'm just saying, I was like, this is his family.
What you mean backlash?
There was a bit of backlash with the band and stuff like that. How's things? And I remember even the funeral and stuff, and I think everyone was like watching and looking and stuff. Yeah. How did things progress after that? Is everything okay now, or did it just dwindle?
Everything's...
It was the fire that you come under that. I felt the bit like it's a bit too much.
Yeah, the backlash was...
She just lost her dad, and Catherine just lost her husband.
Yeah.
So regardless of any band or whatever the situations are, this is his children, his family.
But again, it goes back to that people thinking that you're not humans and you're not real people.
Yeah.
So, sorry, because I'm a little bit, not lost, but I'm a little bit lost, so I'm assuming anyone else that's going to be listening is going to be a little bit lost, because you obviously have an inside.
Sorry, we were just having a conversation.
No, it's fine, and if you want that can be played back, and you don't want that and then, or that and then they were talking about, but I'm confused. Why is that backlash? Okay, if there was...
No, there was shit, remember, all over the internet.
So basically, so basically we decided to do a tribute gig, essentially, right? In my dad's memory, because we wanted a private funeral.
Right.
We ended up we went to Erin's Isle, and like there was thousands of people along Erin's Isle.
Wow.
As we drove through to get to the funeral, but we wanted a private funeral. We didn't want the circus. My ma was kind of just like, and I took over. Yeah, so basically myself and Darren took over, and I was like, absolutely, close the doors. Like I had to send out an email to say, like, RTE are not to come into the crematorium. I don't want any of that filmed, because otherwise they just do, which is fine. And if someone's in the public eye, I understand that. But unless you tell them not to, they just assume like it's a public place. But I was like, no, absolutely not. So after a few months, there was different people coming to us in the industry saying, like, we're just not doing night, just to let all the fans be together and celebrate his life. And I was like, no way. And then after a while, I was like, actually, that'd be a really nice, idea. Yeah. Where we get different people, like me being one of them, we get different people in the industry to come and sing.
Yeah, for the people
I don't want to say his song. I like Aslan songs. Yeah. He also had solo songs. Yeah. He had songs, like he loved Bowie, songs that he liked to sing, traditional songs. Yeah. So that's what we kind of celebrate him through music, essentially, is what we wanted to do. So what Sherin is talking about when she says there was backlash, when we announced this gig, we basically just put up, we're putting on this gig in Vicar Street for me dad, for Christy, and we're just going to come and help us celebrate. Right. Brilliant. We meant it in the nicest way. The sentiment behind it was come and celebrate. Yeah. But there was I won't say no. Well, I don't want to say majority, but I don't want to say minority because it wasn't very little.
It was kind of just like
quite a few
people had an opinion, and it wasn't.
Everybody,
it's
like arseholes. Everybody has an opinion. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's absolutely totally cool. But people who are uneducated, who don't know what's going on in the background of something, having such a strong opinion, because sometimes I could kind of think, do you know what? Like, if you don't know, like you were saying, Joe, you're like, well, I don't know.
We didn't know the full story. I'm sure anyone listening would have been, what's backlash, what's going on?
When you're saying I'm ignorant to a certain situation, you're not then going to sit there and be like, well, I think this or I think that. Or you're not going to make assumptions and then put them all over the internet because you don't know the situation. But most people did do that. And now come here with some ridiculous things, because basically when the gig was announced, there was a post put up on the band's site to say, we've been inundated with messages, which I'm sure isn't the case, but anyway, we've been inundated with messages asking if we're going to be involved in the gig. We're letting you know that we won't be there. We haven't been invited, or so I don't know the word. Something along those lines.
That.
This is from the band.
Aslan.
The band's management, essentially.
Okay.
Speaking for them.
Yeah.
Now I never put up a thing saying we're doing this night, they won't be here. I didn't get into any of that because there's private things in the background that I wasn't going to publicly speak about.
Right.
So I didn't bring that on. By them putting that out, that then is like, then people are like, hang on a fucking minute.
Yeah.
So that caused a lot of shit.
It caused a controversy then. Instead of just owning it that it's his daughter, she's putting on a gig, the family.
Yeah.
It could have been done in that way, but it was deliberately not done in that way.
So beautiful, thing to do. I would do that for my ma. I would tribute to her.
How many people?
That's my
I
mother,
have gone, and I mean neighbours or people in my local area. I have gone and done, whether it's benefit nights or say somebody dies of cancer and the family will do a fundraising night for a charity. The amount of things like that over the years I've done, I've never once thought I'm going to put online, how dare they do that for that?
No.
Why should I not be allowed to do that because of my dad?
Yeah, exactly.
Mental. But anyway, but. This is what it is. That's so there was a lot. It got pretty heavy, and
my heart was broke for you.
It was
really was.
Come here, I can take things with a pinch of salt and be like, fuck off.
Of course.
But I mean, it was.
Was it?
You have to remember as well. I was in the height of grief.
I was just going to say you were in the height of grief. That's what was the bigger trigger for me, because I think we can, through life you can sit there and go, well, I don't really care, but when you're in that pain,
you were doing a good thing.
And I'm also then trying to be kind of this gracious little daisy flower and say nothing and just be quiet and don't rock the boat and don't upset people, and because the more you say then the more shit you get, kind of thing. But then I got to the stage where I was like, I'm getting shit anyway.
Right, same as
so I was like, I have to put something out, because it got to the point where I was getting threats.
Did you put something out then?
Yeah, I had to put up a statement.
So was
I was getting threats,
yeah.
So from Joe public, like just fans?
Generally, but then there was how do I say this politically? There was family members of
the band
members that would be attacking me. Now, there was also, I have to say, one of the band's daughters ended up getting involved in one of them and saying, "Listen, this needs to stop. Enough is enough." In fairness to her, very respectful, and I would, to be honest with you, I would do the same for her if I ever saw her anything like that.
Nice.
Because she didn't have to.
No.
But there was members that
had that opinion
and started spreading absolute bullshit. I don't mind someone having an opinion, even if that opinion is wrong or unfounded, but there was non-truths. Like, for example, one of the things was, like, conversations that was happening between some of these people was, not even Kiera, it was the daughter fell out with the band because they won't let her be the lead singer.
That's right.
Now, come here.
That's right, I remember
that was one thing I had a little lull about, because come here and I tell you something. This is a band of 60-odd-year-old men. I've been singing since I was fucking 12 in my own right. Why the fuck do I want to sing with them? I am not a Christy Dignam tribute. I will always, since he passed away, when I'm doing a gig, I will sing one of the songs, or I'll sing a song dedicated to him, or a song he loved to sing. But I'm not a Christy Dignam tribute, and I've no fucking intention of being. I certainly don't want to be an Aslan.
I'm sure your dad would love that. I would love if me being a singer for my daughter to be singing the songs
and she does
in her band going on. I would be proud to know that I'm up there and my daughter's down there.
And especially if she's putting on a gig for you as well with all these like Damien Dempsey, like Irish legends.
Yeah, but that was something he specifically asked for, like before we died, and it was public. Like it was in. This is not me saying like this is what my dad told me in a private room. He done an interview. His last interview he done with Ryan Tuberty, and he said that he's like, if anybody has the right to sing those songs, it's Kiera. And I want her to carry on my legacy. Those are literally quotes that he said. So I'm like, I'm doing something that my dad asked me to do, and then I'm getting slaughtered for it. Like, where am I going wrong here? But again, at the same time, a lot of people don't know the ins and outs of things, so I get it. But my only thing was, listen, have your opinions, but it's very, very easy to type something online and post it and then get caught up in this big thing. But my thing was, maybe rather than do that, maybe read between the lines. Yeah. If somebody is doing something and they don't have certain people involved, or there's something going on there, maybe say, okay, do you know what?
I don't know, but exactly. Like, and the thing is, you gotta know this guy's working together for 40 years. There's gonna be falling out, and not all completely. Do you know what I mean? Like, our bases are brothers.
Yeah,
to fucking kill each other.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So I can't say.
I do.
There's going to be, and then your dad's at home privately saying to you, "For fuck's sake!" I'm sure they're at home saying. Yeah. So obviously.
Yeah, but look, when there's things there, my as I said, my thing was, maybe if we have made the decision, because I was getting things saying, I think like 40 years together, I think Christy would want them there, and I'm like, come here. If anybody knows what my dad would want,
it's you.
I think it's me, not you, strange person who's never met him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the closest you've ever been is buying a CD.
Because if that is what your dad wanted, I'm sure you would have done that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And to be honest with you, again, I haven't said this. I haven't said this out loud before. And I'm not saying cut this or anything, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. And if I'm telling the truth about something, if other people are telling people can tell the truth and it not be necessarily the truth. This is actual facts. I already went against my dad's wishes on something, to be honest, by allowing them to be at the funeral, because that was something he asked us not to do. And I went against his wishes on that, because we sat down the day before the funeral and said, you know what, it's not the right thing. Like initially I was like, no, he wouldn't want that. He said he didn't want that. And it was actually Darren was like, wow, we have to live with that. And to be honest, although things haven't, like you say, have things changed, have things got better? No, they haven't gotten better. But at the same time, I can still stand up and say, do you know what? Whenever I meet my dad again, I'll apologise to him then. I'm sure he'll understand the situation.
Do you know what? I swear. And I do, Joe, I do know a bit of the thing, because me and Kiera are friends, you know. And I have to say, you held yourself so well, Kiera, through all that.
I tried to.
Because when I was looking at you, in my heart, from what I knew, I was like, I can't. Do you know, like, I want to scream from the rooftop.
And I remember a few times you texted me going, Kiera, I'm after writing this status. And then deleting the status. Kiera, I'm after writing this comment.
And she was so dignified through the whole thing, because I knew this girl is in the height of grief, and there's a situation behind this, right or wrong, whatever the situation is, she's trying to deal with all of this. And she's just getting blasted.
No matter what, I literally
couldn't do the right thing. No matter what you did, but your dignity, and you were a lady through it.
You were saying then, I know you said they hadn't said it for public, is your father's wishes were for them not to be at the funeral. Obviously they were all at that. And that was
although there'll be things said, there have been things said after saying like about the funeral, and like we only found out about the funeral. There was something said like we only found out about the funeral the day before. I mean, did you want us to tell you 4 months beforehand? Like you only plan a funeral fucking a few days in advance. Anyway,
it's an Irish thing, but isn't it as well? I was just sorry before I'd say, isn't it hard a thing as well? Because people fall out, and it's a human thing. As like if we fall out with people, and I'd still want to go to that funeral and show respect. And I know if you're still angry, I go, I don't want you. I don't want.
And it's very easy
as a human being, you'd say, regardless of whatever their band, whatever your band or not band. Some people are just like, you know, people that get married and hate each other separately. Fucking hate each other, but they want to go and say,
they want to say goodbye.
I'm going to the funeral. I'm going to people fall out with their brothers and sisters, and they don't want to. We'll never have you. That's a hard thing.
See, because we're the ones
that
are
I think you're right, but to say, if you want to show your respect, show respect.
And as I said, I don't regret that. I don't regret it. Because at the end of the day, no matter what went on, or no matter what is going on, 40 years is a long time to be in someone's life, and I wouldn't take. I don't think it's
And
right
you
to
were
take.
in their life, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
You were like a daughter of the band, you know.
That's the thing, and so it is. It's shit and it's hard, but at the same time, I can turn around and say, I feel we did the right thing by allowing them to be there, regardless. As I said, whenever I see me dad again.
Yeah.
He sends me feathers sometimes, so when I see me next feather, I'm like, sorry about that. I know you, but he'd understand. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't a thing about, and I'm sure I don't look. I don't know, but when the bands fall out all the time, I just and like was there. You don't mind me if I want to ask a question, you're going to edit stuff out if you want, and I'll keep saying fucking
Edit.
Go on, I'll just
Whatever.
divide your answer.
Yeah.
I'll divide the
Yes,
answer
we
if
did.
I don't like
Was
it.
that because it was he had an issue with drugs as well, or didn't he?
Yeah, but that
Throughout
was
the-
totally nothing.
That was different.
Nothing to do with it.
No.
Oh,
That was
separate
all
way.
years and years and years and
Was
dealt
it?
with.
Right,
Yeah.
because
None
we
of
know, hey,
that.
listen, we are, it's not one of us, it's not touch putting the family with someone that do any type of addiction. Do you know what I mean? And we only
No,
know
that
last
come here.
year,
That's
son.
all well
That was in and
documented.
out
Years
and up and
ago.
up.
Well
Yeah.
documented.
So you would have haven't seen that as a growing up as a
Absolutely,
child.
yeah.
You did see it or you
Yeah.
didn't, yeah.
Well, I was sheltered to a certain, like I was
Yeah.
always very, he was always very open, always
Right.
very, this is the way it is, these are issues I've had, these are the
Right.
reasons I've had those
Right.
issues, explained to me what had happened, childhood trauma, explained all of that.
Not a lot of
Always
people,
very
not a lot of
honest.
people can carry on at life.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And get through it and like so and
Yeah.
can come out with fast way to live
Yeah.
on.
And growing up in Finglas, Kiera, that for you, I know for me in Jobstown, growing up around that in life in general, everyone doing what
Yeah.
they're doing, drugs, not drugs. How was that for you growing up in Finglas in them kind of areas? For me, I just didn't get involved. I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
or
just-
why. I just didn't.
It never, I actually only had this conversation with someone the other day and I can't remember why, but it never really appealed to me. I don't know if subconsciously, the older I'm getting, you know, when you kind of reflect, the older I'm getting, I'm thinking maybe subconsciously, because I saw the damage drugs can do, I was probably like, oh no, fuck that.
Yeah.
Whereas some people can totally fall
Yeah.
into it for that
Of
exact,
course.
you know, they can fall
Yeah.
into it because it's a kind of a generational illness,
Yeah.
I suppose,
Yeah.
that can be kind of handed down.
Like almost some people could say it could almost be hereditary. They say, oh yeah, father's
Yeah,
an
it's
alcoholic,
like- Yeah.
bound to be an alcoholic,
And it does
or
happen.
abusive, or
My dad's
addictive,
two
or
granddads
gamblers.
were. My dad's two granddads literally died on bar stools,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
fell off the
really?
bar stool, both
that's
of them.
nuts.
Yeah.
I had a fella tell me the other day that this fella's, and he said he was telling me he had drink problems and everything else, and he's gambling, and then he just next sentence he was like, oh, because of me dad. And he was like, I said, what? And he goes, my dad's an alcoholic and a gambler. So I was going, I always thought this.
So that's why.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah.
And I get some people are. But then
I
some
think
people are
it's
completely
kinda-
opposite. I have a brother that doesn't drink at all. And he says, because my father would have drank.
Yeah,
But I didn't
sometimes that
see
can be
my
a way
father-
of, no, I
I didn't see my
wouldn't
dad as
touch.
an alcoholic at
Yeah.
all. But he drank every night, like all men at his age. They went to the pub like that. But my brother doesn't drink. So I find it a weird statement to
I
say.
think it's,
for people to say, I can't
when-
go because of that. Or
But I
if you
think-
are, they say, oh, you got abused physically as a child.
So I'm gonna
You got
abuse someone.
physically abused
Yeah,
kids.
I've heard
You can't
that.
use that.
No, that's not the
I
case.
don't
And I
know.
remember that was actually
If it should be
something.
the opposite, as you were saying.
Absolutely.
You're looking at
You
it.
can kind of, it's like taking something as
Yeah.
a lesson and saying, I'm not
Yeah.
going to. Like, for example, I remember my dad years ago saying, I'm just glad, because he was abused. He's like, I'm just glad I never, he says, I abused myself. I never abused anyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember thinking, Jesus Christ, imagine feeling that low about yourself, that you feel
Yeah.
like you deserve.
That
although he
abuse,
had already
yeah.
gone through all of that, and then to have to, you know what I mean, to
And it's
internalise
funny,
it.
even on that subject, my ma was abused, and it's something where, you know, you'd be watching the talk shows years ago and you're like, but I was abused, so I abused. It was another thing my ma used to always say, that's not the case.
No.
Yeah.
When you abuse, it doesn't mean you become an abuser.
Yeah.
You know, it's
What's that
probably
saying? What's the saying? Hurt people hurt people.
people, yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
a weird saying. Well, it's not a weird saying, but I get it. But at the same time, I don't think anyone
no,
and
because my
everyone
mum
should
was like, I know what
use
the
that as an
trauma I
excuse.
went through, so
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
never
the
going to
opposite.
inflict that trauma on
The
somebody
opposite.
else.
That's
It was
exactly what my
actually
dad
the
said.
opposite.
So it's a matter of
Yeah.
taking that and choosing not to inflict
Yeah.
that on somebody. Like it's a choice.
Yeah.
I
It
know
is a choice.
some people can be sick,
Mentally
and when it
ill,
comes
yeah.
to addictions and stuff, that's a
Yeah.
whole other thing. It's an illness, obviously, but when you're talking about just because you were hurt or abused doesn't mean.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like,
Like,
give you the right to go on and
No,
abuse
absolutely
or hurt
not.
someone else.
No.
And as I said, I do look at it as being nearly the opposite. Do you know what I mean? I watch it someone.
And you're very level-headed, Kiera, as I said. I know you and stuff. Your children, so it's not always a generational thing. We all divil all the way down, you
Yeah.
know. So speaking of your children, is one of them going into the music industry? Did I see? Is any of them following in them?
the video you're probably talking about was Keane. So Keane plays guitar. So as I said, he wants to be a teacher, an English and history teacher, but he plays guitar. So we always had a rule in the house: when they're young, they have to learn 3 chords of something, whether it's the piano or the guitar. It's like legally, if you want to live in this house, this is what needs to happen.
Musicians,
we tried it with all of them. The only one that really stuck with was Kane. Ava's a good singer. But she's still a little confidence-wise. She's still kind of, no, I don't want to do it. But like now we'll get her up at karaoke and stuff.
Brilliant.
So you should actually have a great night
We're
out
going to get up to Jobestown. We'll smash the shit out of it. It's on Sundays and Mondays.
But yeah, it's like that. Kane loves the guitar and he's amazing on it. Like
brilliant.
But I don't think career-wise, I don't
they're
think
going to go that route.
No, thank God, because it's
funny because you were saying a minute ago that your mum was like, "Oh, I don't want her to go to music college. I want her to do her own thing," and you're saying the same about the kids. Why is that?
I just know how hard it is. The same way, to be honest with you, my dad was 110% supportive and 210% my biggest fan. But at the same time, he was like,
it's difficult. It's dog eat dog.
It really is.
I wanted to ask you that in the industry you're in now, because you say that you know, that you're supporting yourself, you're funding yourself, you're trying your best to get it all going. There's no record labels, were you saying, behind it? Is that what we were saying a minute ago? So is there much competition in Ireland at the moment? Is it a hard industry to be in with the amount? Because I don't really hear of up and coming artists as I do.
It's kind of, a lot of it is kind of clicky. Do you know what I mean? Like it's kind of who it's who you know, and although people will think, well, you're Christy Dignam's daughter, or it's going to be easy. It isn't. No. Do you know? And I remember saying in an interview before, somebody in one of the newspapers was like, do you find that you kind of get a leg up because of who your dad is? And I was like, absolutely not. No. Sometimes it's almost it's more of a hindrance. Now I said that for want of a better word, but then of course the headline is Kiera Dignam says being Christy's daughter is a hindrance, and then I get slaughtered for that. So it's how can she say that? The cheek of her saying that about her father.
Hard being
That's
in
not
the
at all
limelight.
what I was saying. That is not what I was saying.
It's
what I was
easy
saying.
for people to take things out of context.
Absolutely. And because of my lack of filter and my lack of not like saying in my brain going, the Kiera, that's enough words now. Shush. Like, as well, you've probably noticed by now, I don't have that. That part of my brain that says, okay, we've said enough about that. Let's pull back a bit. That's not there. That Holy God didn't give me that. So as a result, I talk, and it's very, very easy for things to be taken out of context. So good luck.
And people love it as well.
And we always put our foot on it, aren't we? That what makes us fucking human. Do you know what I mean? It makes us humans, individual and all. So the album, what's the name of the album?
What's the name of the album?
So the first album I had, which was one I eventually, the COVID album that I eventually brought out, I kind of thought, you know what? I'm always called a Nepo baby. It's always Christy Dignam. So I called the album Nepo baby. Because I kind of thought,
it's a great album.
And it was highly advised against.
It's a great album.
Like, PR teams. I ended up getting a record deal, a distribution deal after, because I had paid for the album, and then they came on board and distributed the album. So the record company were like, here, people are going to think you're being sarcastic. And I was like, I am being sarcastic.
Sorry, what? Now
what's wrong with being sarcastic?
I don't know if I should ask this on a podcast and look absolutely
well, we can
stupid.
be edited.
What does Nepo mean?
So nepotism is basically you get a leg up essentially because a parent or a family member.
It's against the law.
Okay. Is it?
Yeah, so if you're working on a job, like if Carl here gets one of his kids in and he goes, so I'll get you a job in my place, that's nepotism. They should get the job because they're qualified and not because they're a family member.
Yeah.
It's like you have to advertise the job.
So people get into trouble where it used to be a big thing where it was like, you got your job, your mum worked there, your dad worked there, you did this, you did that, and you got your job and you might have been brought up the ladder before other people because you were a family member.
But that's a lesson.
So that was
nepotism.
the Nepo baby.
That's why, Nepo baby.
That's why I wanted to be smart on it, because as you say, I was after doing that album. I worked on that album. I sang. Like my dad didn't come and sing on that album for me. That's me singing. So I did. I earned my place to have that album. So I was like, that's what I'm fucking calling it.
And it's a great album, Kiera. It's a great album. I really like it.
And also, listen, isn't it good though? Like, what's the... Like, it's if the people have got an issue, and many people have got family members. If it's your talent is in you and it's in your blood and the passion is in it, and you see it every day in day out, why wouldn't you want to be on that?
And when someone is so big and
then if you have a voice and the power and the knowledge, fucking do it. Look at it, like Danny from The Crown, isn't all his families are family, you know what I mean?
That's it. I
mean,
there's
loads of families out there that there's gangs of them that are all musicians.
You're allowed to be. I remember I always try and think of things in layman's terms that I can understand when somebody else is kind of explaining something without being too clever, because I'm not. So anyway, I do kind of think of it in a way like, have you ever walked into your local butcher who's standing beside his son, like
name says
Doyle
it.
and Sons.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked into that son and went, "You're a fucking shit butcher. You're only here because of your dad."
Yeah,
So why the fuck am I dealing with it being a singer? Like, it just makes no. It's
I think that's
mind-boggling.
only us. Not that I know personally, but I just assume it's probably a fairly minority of people that would have that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the haters are going to hate.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
they're going to look for fucking ways to hate.
And that's
or to have
why.
it put
That's
down
why
or
I
have
went
it
with the
go.
tongue-in-cheek name.
Especially when they're not happy with their own lives.
I was just going to
interject.
say, it's unfortunate that, like, a big thing in this life is to maybe support people and clap for them when they're up.
100%.
The worst thing is trying to kick someone when they're down. Like,
people love it. People love it. We spoke about that last week. People enjoy that.
I think it's a
They
very
love
Irish
that.
thing.
Don't get
They
it.
love it though. They love that.
Yeah.
Don't
When I
it,
see
don't.
someone doing well, I'm like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Get in there.
love it.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing, you know.
But that's because you're happy and secure in yourself, and a lot of people aren't.
And
Do you know?
once-
So
before we wrap up, because
Yeah.
we do have that, and it's been a great having you on. Thanks so
yeah,
much
I think
for
this is after
coming
going
on.
on for about a week.
It's a
Sorry.
good one. Well, you were here for days before I came because I didn't pay for my parking, so that's why I was late. Yeah. Anyways, that's
should've.
another story.
He doesn't pay bus
I
fare
don't pay
and
bus
didn't pay his
fare. I don't pay
parking.
parking.
You're
I
really
don't-
letting yourself out on this
couldn't
podcast,
give a
aren't you?
flying fuck. I'm
Love
just
it.
against the bleeding society. So what's the name of the new album?
So I don't know.
Well, you
I
haven't
don't
got
know.
it.
Yeah,
It's
so
done.
I
It's
released.
penned and songed and up
I
and-
have a new EP coming,
Right.
which is 100%.
Where can we hear this now? Because we want to tell the viewers and listeners.
wherever you get your music.
What's
or
the
whatever.
full name? So what's the
Once you put in Kiera Dignam,
Kiera Dignam?
all me back
Right.
catalogue will come up. So my
Brilliant.
new single, which was out this day last week, it's
Right.
called "Give Me the
I
Rain."
shared it, yeah.
So this is
Congratulations.
these are my therapy songs.
Right. Oh,
So these
nice.
are a lead on. This is like the EP that's led on from
Deadly.
Nepo Baby. So
Right.
with Nepo Baby, I worked with a producer, I worked with a songwriter, where I kind of didn't feel I had full kind of creative.
the flow.
Yeah. Whereas with this, it's
There's full
it's mine.
tilt.
They're my lyrics.
Kiera.
It's my
Raw.
trauma.
It's raw.
Yeah, my
Lovely.
kind of way
I
of.
love it.
I work with a friend of mine, Colin Gavin, who's an amazing singer-songwriter. He's helped me with the music, so I was able to kind of sit with him and work out exactly what sound I wanted. And then in the studio with my producer Stuart, I was able to I'd like drums here, I'd like strings here. So but that's out. It's "Give Me the Rain" is out at the moment on Spotify, and then by the end of November, I have a Christmas song actually we wrote last year, but I didn't give myself enough time to bring it out for Christmas.
Okay.
Are we getting that out before Christmas?
Yeah. So now, needless to say, it's not one of them cheesy, because you know me well enough to know that I'm a moany bastard. So it's a sad Christmas song. So I'm really excited about that.
I just want to bring people down. Like,
I just want to,
It's gonna be a
It's
Grinch.
just, if anybody
The Grinch,
has,
what's his name?
No, it's not even the Grinch. It's just the Grinch.
Grinch Dignam.
Yeah,
Grinch
it's
Dignam.
not even that. It's just if anybody has
Nepo
any
Dignam.
joy
Yeah.
or any has
I
festive
get
cheer,
it.
I just want to make sure I rip that from them.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
good. That's a good end.
I like
That's a
that.
good end to
Since
this
it was all ripped from you,
podcast.
Kiera.
Absolutely. No, it's basically it's about being sad and about sometimes Christmas is shit for people.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be able.
Yeah.
There was no songs out there because it was when I wrote. It was the first Christmas without me dad, and I kind of thought all I'm hearing is do you know what I mean? All I want for Christmas is you type of bullshit. Which is fine. It's a great song actually, but I just wanted to be able to kind of.
She just put Mariah Carey down.
Yeah, sorry, Mariah. I know she follows me. I'm one of her inspirations. No, I just wanted to kind of have a song that represented how I was feeling, and I think that, like even for yourself, like yourself lost a parent, it might kind of make you. It's basically it's about having an empty seat at the Christmas
it's horrible,
table
isn't it?
because that's shit,
Yeah,
and it's hard to
horrible.
look at. And I was like, I'm
Yes.
going to write about that, and then wreck everyone's Christmas.
Right,
Yeah.
no, it's
I
going to
love
be
it.
good. We're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it. And it's been an absolutely great guest. Thanks for coming on, Kiera Dignam. Give it up for Kiera Dignam.
Absolutely amazing.
Go.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
And then obviously the granddaughter, the daughter sitting in the corner, quiet
She's
as a
been
mouse.
amazing.
Fair play to you. It was-
3 Debs tonight. You
it
have
was-
a ball, girl.
It was good babysitting you.
Yeah.
Well, I can say that.
Thanks
I'm going
so
to tell
much.
loads of
Yeah,
people that. I'm going
yeah.
to tell people
Yeah.
that babysitting Christy
Yeah.
Dignam's
Yeah, for
granddaughter.
free.
That's
For free.
going on stage, by the way.
Yeah.
You're going to be famous on my part, on my little stuff. So, and then thanks, Sherin Hughes, again, for being an absolute fucking smashing co-host. Thank you. Then give it up for Carl over there, producer of the fucking century. And also, we wouldn't be here. Well, we would be here, but we got to hear help from. Do it.
Do you have to do that?
Do it. With that's Lambs, Deli,
Yup, bro.
Ballyfair,
Yup,
you
bro.
bro. You go and get your food of lambs. Best food of Ballyfair.
I have to
mate.
actually get lambs. I've seen
Yeah,
it on
they're
TikTok
lovely.
because I'm a north side.
Next
I
week.
need to bring myself
when we
over.
get you back, we're going to get you back.
Yeah.
We have to come in the evening because we're going to start getting the food off them. Andrew,
okay.
send us, and Frankie, send us some bleeding foods.
Yeah. Next
For the
week,
north side or the
all
north
of
side,
us.
and it's a free
next
curry.
week we have a guest on, and we're going to be
In the
tasting
end,
hot
we're going to
curry.
do taste
Oh, okay, and you
hot
brought me today.
taste. Yeah,
Thanks so much for that.
So this was an early podcast.
Yes.
It's too early for
Too
hot.
early for food. We
You'll
just
have to get a carrier pigeon to bring a voucher for lambs now over.
Yeah,
to,
we'll
over to
get
me.
you some lambs. I'll get you some
So,
lambs. Andrew,
thanks.
Kiera Dignam wants
Thank
lambs.
you, everyone. And Joe Ordish.
And Joe, oh,
Joe
big shout out for
Yes,
Joe.
thank you. Thank you. Good night and God bless.